Good morning, guys. Good long weekend. I hope for everybody. Back at it on a Tuesday. Not much trading happening yesterday. Quite typical. I mean, market closed at 1 p.m. So you don't want to be trading on these half days or these days where there's just low volatility, low volume, not much action going. It's typically best to just take a day off, work on yourself, enjoy. Ooh, some high delta here. Some high buying delta at 12,100. Sorry, just real quick, something that I noticed. It's pretty interesting. Might be some absorption here going on before we push higher, if anything. But at the very least, let's try to watch this level. Still 9:35, so I mean it's quite early in the day. I mean it's only 5 minutes into the session. We haven't even established an initial balance, right? We have a 10-minute initial balance over here. Still gonna stick to this daily loss rule, guys. I think $500 loss. It's technically 250 per account, but I have two accounts, so we're gonna stick to this $500 loss rule over here. So if I am down 500 bucks, we stop trading, and that's it. I think it's important to establish not rules, but rather laws with the account. Because rules are meant to be broken. Everybody breaks their rules, but laws are laws. You can't break the law, or you shouldn't break the law. I guess the same thing could be said about rules, but I mean, hey, laws are much more set in stone, I would say. I think we need to be realistic with our expectations of profit targets, and stick to our stop losses, because if you get stopped, you get stopped. If you don't, you know what I mean? Like, you get stopped, either you use that as an opportunity to have a better entry, or just analyze your trade, because if you keep getting stopped out and then you see the market go in your favor, and that happens quite often, um, maybe you should put your entry where your stops are, right? Maybe there's something wrong with your entry analysis. And I keep saying this, but like I feel like ever since I started streaming, I haven't been performing as as I usually do. Um, Obviously, it's not to blame the stream or anything like that. I'm still gonna continue streaming because I like doing this. But you have to recognize some of the changes that are happening and then adapt to them. And that goes on with pretty much anything really in life, whether you're streaming or whether you're having a rough couple of weeks personally in your personal lives. Maybe you broke up with a girlfriend, maybe you're arguing too much, right? These things kind of affect the way you trade. Maybe somebody made a comment the other day about, you know, making money, and you took it the wrong way and you want to start making more money, so you start putting on more size. These things all affect trading. All of it affect trading. Every little thing affects trading. Maybe you even watch a TV show on Netflix where people are driving nice cars, and maybe in your mind you think, oh man, I should be driving nice cars too. I think trading could be the way to do it. And so you start putting in size, you start disregarding your plan, your stop losses, simply because you want to win and make money. And these things can all affect. I kind of want to take this trade here. I know it's 2 minutes before the close, but this buying, it's okay. 1 micro, 2 micro. How much further can this go? We'll put it here. Put it here. I don't want it to go lower than that rotation. I think that rotation should be the bounce. And if we go, we go. If we don't go, then obviously we hit and we're out. All right, we're out. That's fine. I thought perhaps because of this that we could bounce back up. We might actually still bounce back up, but I think now this turns into resistance, because now that we stop these guys out, this point at 103 would turn into resistance. And where would I be wrong? Let's quickly take a look. Actually, that was a mistake. Know where you're wrong before you get in. That should be the rule here. I wanted to get in at 103 because this is their entry. 102, 103. Something that I've also been doing is I haven't really been following the market too much, in the sense that, if we have a downtrend, I just try to buy, and that's a mistake. Right now, we just hovered below T+1, T+2, but this T+1 was yesterday's T+1, wasn't it? No, this was Friday's T+1. Okay, so that is still pretty significant, I would say. We saw this rally back up to 101, almost get filled actually, and then it didn't. I don't want to see this rally back up to my price. I think maybe a bit. I don't want to see it rally back up again. Like I said, guys, I think it should have filled me and it should have gone. But the fact is it didn't. So another rotation back up here decreases the chance that it becomes a good trade, simply because, it's tested a few times and then maybe the third time it just breaks, right? So we almost got filled on that one. I think we were 2 points away from getting filled. Nothing wrong with the entry. I guess it just didn't work out for whatever reason. It didn't work out, right? I think the trade idea was good, right? We wanted to get in at this high delta where, when it broke, right, support turning into resistance, and we could have made some good ticks off of that, but it's okay. We don't chase. We wait for another structure to form, and then we get in again. At the very least, what we can start looking at right now. Let's extend this, because if we break 97, I think we could test 119, depending on how strong this down move is, in all fairness, right? But let's take a look at the higher time frames. Let's kind of take a look at what's going on with the market in general. We're technically within here. Let me pull this up here for you guys to see. This is the hourly time frame, guys. We're technically still within last week's volume area, but we are outside of last week's value area, right? So the value area of last week is 240 about, right? So 12,240. And we are trading outside of this, and we're establishing. It's still too early to tell, because yesterday wasn't really a big session. You see that yesterday we got rejected out of last week's. Yesterday and overnight we got rejected out of last week's value area. So that could kind of tell you what the market's trying to do overnight, what the Globex session is doing overnight. See, I told you, when we break this, we're most likely going to test 119. And I didn't get in on that trade. I could have gotten in on the trade after the break, retesting. Interesting, but it's okay. We're here to. Anyway, let's talk about this hourly and then see if we can get more opportunities later on. So again, overnight we rejected off of last week's value area, right? So that's kind of significant to understand that perhaps maybe we don't want to go back in to last week's value area. However, this is overnight. This is overnight, and we didn't have a long enough session on Monday. So yesterday, we didn't have a long session yesterday to determine what the true players, and I say true players because I think, let's be honest, if we're trading US equities, then the US players are the true players of this market. So we didn't have a long enough session yesterday to determine what direction we wanted to go in. Therefore, we don't know yet if this is a solid top or a triple top, right? This could just be, this could just be like European session and Asian session resistance, which typically we know that if the US just wants to break this, they can break this quite easily. So we'll continue to monitor that, but for now everything seems quite bearish simply because, long story short, we are trading within last week's value area low, right? So I think once we get back within last week's value area, we have a potential to unwind. I think maybe at the very least this volume node, this massive volume node here, we can unwind all of this up to, this is quite a good area around 12,350, 12,330 to 12,350. You see this imbalance. We could potentially retest this. If we break this, then yikes, watch out. But that's the plan. I think we could test, perhaps maybe test 200 today. But again, right, it seems to me like we are building volume. It seems to me like these guys over here are still absorbing this. So we could go for potential long play. A lot of buying here, guys. Look at this. All of this buying being absorbed. I understand that it's being absorbed, but this is quite telling to me right here. Aggressive buying at these lows. And then it got picked up over here as well. Take a look at, so I'm trying something new here. I'm trying this daily. Although I can't even see, it doesn't, yeah. So I'm trying this daily. So look at the daily, look at the amount of volume that's up here. It's quite bearish though, I'm not gonna lie, simply because you have all of this volume, yet we're trading down here, which goes to show you that these guys are all trapped, right? These guys are all trapped, and that's not a very good, that's not something you want to see. So maybe the long play might not be the right move. You see this low volume area? We tried to fill this gap. We tried to trade in here. So from here, it's funny because you see all the volume started around where the low volume ended. Or, well, yeah, pretty much, right? And so we tried to fill this gap here, but we couldn't even test this high volume node. Although I do think that if we come back around above 12,120 and we want to start trading between 12,120 and 12,150, good potential to go long, because look at all this negative delta. Good potential to go long because this negative delta will start turning into a positive delta as we curl back. Let me bring out this epic pen. This negative delta right here, all of this selling, could potentially unwind, because if you're a seller here and you see the price of this positive delta right here, this is big. This was around 12,100. So if you start coming up here, these guys are going to start buying to get out of their shorts, or they might start adding, right? You need to also be aware that they could start adding for continuation. But if you see that they don't start adding and there's not much resistance, or we start doing this, then you can go long, stop down here, go long, play this, because all of this will start to unwind. That's one play that we can start to monitor. A few things to monitor here, guys. Let's minimize. Right now we are below the initial balance. This could be one big absorption, guys, but let's not, could be, should be's, would have's, could have's. For now, we're getting rejected off POC, and we continue to get rejected off POC. We continue to get rejected off T+1, turning into T+2. Let's take a look at ES. What is our good friend ES doing? ES is significantly below the initial balance. So ES is definitely the weaker one out of Nasdaq, right? You see you got more red bars on the 3 minutes. Nasdaq's just a more whippier one. But again, guys, let's not try to catch lows. I do this quite often. I try to catch lows, and I think it's the worst thing that I could do. It's the worst thing that anybody could do, really. When you have a clear indication that the market's selling off, and you try to think that, you know what, I'm gonna catch the low. Like, what are the odds you're gonna catch the low? It's always better to wait for a pullback, find an entry, and then go short, because at the very least, like I said, V reversals are quite rare to happen. So at the very least, what you'll get is, imagine you enter around here, the price jumps up, very least you get a retest so that you can get back out. But there's a lot of buying here, which is telling in a way. Now, I had a study here the other day. I guess it didn't really show relative volume. Let's take a look at this. So this is an interesting study. We will include 15-day average relative volume all days. The day session only. We'll do average volume. Volume subgraph is volume. 1 minute. Put it in chart region 2. I want to see, so what the relative volume does is pretty interesting, but I haven't really had the chance to use it. I want to see that as we make lows, what's the relative volume uh, around this time? But then again, it's time based actually, if I'm not being mistaken. So this is low relative volume compared to the past 15 days. If you want to think about it, like at this time right here, and the volume keeps going lower and lower, which means there's less and less interest to trade down here. Because at this time, during the past 15 days, on average, at 9:51, the relative volume compared to the average at this time over the past 15 days is down here. So this is really low volume compared to the past 15 days. Now you can also try, so how can we get this to our advantage? Obviously, you see this? The relative volume is really low over here because yesterday there was no trading. High relative volume on average, right? At 12:15, this was higher than normal relative volume. Higher than normal, really higher than normal, over 350% at this time. Let's be patient, guys. Let's be very, very patient here, guys. I want to try to practice my patience. I think practicing patience is key. We did take one trade. We got out. At the very least, I respected my stop. I said this is wrong, and I didn't even chase. I didn't get back in. I typically do, but I'm trying to trade like I used to and not trade because I need to show something for streams. I hope you guys understand that concept. So I could have chased this market, but I didn't. My stop was correct because we ended up drifting lower. So I got out. That was an easy trade to get in, easy trade to get out. Now I want to try something here. Let's remove this relative volume and let's add in a moving average, okay? We'll add in a simple moving average. We'll do the last, if I do 10, that's 30 minutes. If I do 5, that's 15 minutes because it's the last 5 bars. And these are 3-minute bars. So we can do the last 15 minutes. We'll do input data based on volume, based on the last volume. Oh, hold on. Settings, chart region. We'll put it here. Average. Let's take a look. Okay, so volume has decreased significantly down here. It fell off a cliff. There is no interest to trade here. Compared to the last 15 minutes, the average volume has decreased significantly. So you could potentially fade this based on the fact that you know that volume has decreased. Right? If we look at the last 15 minutes, right, it's 9:53. Let's look at 9:35. So the average volume right now compared to the last 15 minutes has decreased significantly, even though we see some pretty high volume over here. Do I want to fade this? I don't know. I want to do a change, a difference between, I want to do like a percentage difference between the high and where we're at now. I want to see if I can do that, but I'm not sure how. But we look at this graph, we look at this line, simple moving average based on volume, but it seems to me like it's picking up or it's curling up here. Right, let's take a look. See, down here, look at this. Oh, but this was, never mind. But this was aftermarket though. But you can, yeah, this is aftermarket. But you see it fell off a cliff even before market open. But then again, it's aftermarket. It's not really. See, average volume dropped significantly. By this point, we were trading on average less volume than here at the open, technically, and we're up here. So when you see average volume dipping that low, then perhaps you could fade this move because there's just not enough volume to push it higher. See, now you see volume kind of find a bid, try to pick up. Yeah, there's not much to go here. This is not really the best structure in a way because these rotations are just, it's difficult to trade these types of rotations because it's just one move down. So you can potentially trade 53s here. You can go short at 53. That could be a good trade to get in on, right? At this imbalance over here. That can be a good trade. Let's go. Let's put our orders around 43, 52. We got a very wide initial balance here, guys. A 92 is quite wide. A 92 could be a range day initial balance because a wide initial balance, yeah. Don't want to chase a market like this. Let's wait it out. Let's be patient. In the meantime, let's see if we can do rename daily NQ delta footprint. Let's open this up. So we are testing the low of Wednesday here at this point. if we're looking at this, we just made a new low, got rejected off of this low, but not enough for us to think, oh, well, you know, this is a bottom. Because this looks quite bearish, guys, right here. This is like a failed head and shoulders, I think. Well, not really a failed head and shoulders. This was a head and shoulders. No, not necessarily. Kind of looks a bit weird for it to be a head and shoulders. I think we got filled. Well, we got filled over here. Let's take some profit, guys. I want to take profit. Honestly, I'm kind of sick and tired of getting in and then waiting for this bigger move to happen. Like, you get in, you get the bounce. See, like, I guess this could have been the right trade, but I'm okay. I mean, how many times have I gotten tagged on my entry just to see it bounce back and then retest my entry and kind of go higher? We'll try to trade this way, and then we'll see how many opportunities we actually miss or how many opportunities we get out of too early. And then if we're getting out of a lot of opportunities like this, then, you know, maybe obviously we can tweak a few things. See, volume is picking up right here. You see the average volume over the past 15 candles, or over the past 15 minutes, are picking up. Kind of what you want to see. If you want to see a continuation lower, that's okay. The entry was spot on, though, guys. The entry was spot on. Maybe need to work a little bit on our exits. Get some volume picking up. Look at the imbalances over here. Can we take these guys out higher? We just did a 1-to-1 extension. 1-to-1 extensions are quite significant. We don't typically see a full 1-to-1 extension and then a massive continuation. I'll show you guys why, what I mean by this. Here's a rare day where we've actually did a 1-to-1 extension, but look, we built some energy for us to actually go down, and that was NFP at the end of the day. You see this? It came straight down, 1-to-1 extension, hovered around it, and then we came all the way back up. You see this? Like, 1-to-1 extension, bounced right off of it, retested a few times, and didn't do much else. The rare day, another rare day where, well, I guess it's not that rare if you keep seeing it, but 1-to-1 extension, bounce, continuation. This was actually pretty huge. Barely a 1-to-1. There was no 1-to-1 here. 1-to-1 extension broke. I don't know what this was. I do remember this day actually. I think this was, so some report came out. 1-to-1 extension came back down. It's not necessarily an automatic buy, as you can see, because you do have days where you see, like, this was a range day, but a 1-to-1 extension to the upside, rejection. The market always wants to revert to the mean, I guess, right? 1-to-1 extension, tests, but this was kind of like obvious though, because one test, VWAP, 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 like this was a little bit obvious based on the lack of volatility here. This was a very low volatile day. You can see 18 ATR. Although today seems to be a very aggressive sell-off day. So that was the trade actually, guys. That was the trade that we got out of way too early. The reason I got in on that trade was obviously we saw this massive down move right at the open. So you want to try to find areas where you can get in on that move, and this was the perfect area at 47. Why was it the perfect area? Because we had imbalances. So if you wanted to enter in on this trade, you want to get in where a lot of people got stopped out, where the markets moved fast, right? Markets move fast, meaning people are still stuck in their trades, right? Which means people who had stops here moved fast past their stops and now they're offside. Some of them got stopped out, some of them are still holding. And so as the market comes back into this imbalance, you start to get selling over here and continuation down. So there is this area, but I don't like it because we broke it. So I don't want to sell here because I think if we break this, we can test 18. Crazy, but I think we could. I think we could test 18. You want to get in, yeah, market here. That was actually stupid market in. I wanted to get in at midpoint here at 70, so I'm 10 points late. I am 10 points late. Yeah. Get in over here where I should have gotten in. I chased that. But let's just see how this plays out. I am thinking we break out of this at the very least. Because you got a 1-to-1 extension, the volume seems to be dipping a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. We'll not hold this. We're not going to hold this for long, guys. If we're wrong and we're out. Did I maybe preempt this a little bit? No, I think I did preempt this because I got excited as I saw this, and that's something that I need to be aware of, is not get excited when you see a move like this, because I literally just bought in at the high of this range, and that's a sucker move, right? That's a very, very big sucker move. But we'll see what happens here. If we start to bounce around here, this could actually be a good buy opportunity. But my average price is kind of bad here. My average price should be 70. Just want to get a bounce off of this, because the way it's just kind of trickling down, I don't like. These are the types of trickle downs where it's like trickles, 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 and then it just goes against you, Take a quick look. Yeah, you see this? ES has also picked up a bit here, actually. So if ES is making new lows and Nasdaq is making new lows, okay, that's bad news. But the fact is Nasdaq is trying to make new lows, but ES is still not, So we can monitor that. All right, we need to go back above 60. 60 can't be resistance here. We need to go back above 60. Seems to be like, if we go back above 60, this could be a trap play. We're back above 60, or we're resisting at 60 actually, guys. Okay, we're hovering around 60. I think 68 could get hit because of this 80 on the bid, on the offer. Might want to take that. We know you want to take that. Midpoint can prove to be a resistance here, though. Let's take some off the table just in case. Oh. Alright, we took some off the table. Small loss here on that one. Now we're on half size, which is a lot more bearable. Now our average price is right where it should have been, but we took a small loss on that, but that's okay. That's trade management. There's some buying over here though, guys. There is buying. We don't want it to go below this 55, I think. Right? Like you can clearly see that the rotations around here have been receptive. So you don't want this to come back down and test 48s, 49s around this area, because the continuation lower is the possibility for that is higher. Let's see if we can't get picked up here and then go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Come on, 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 come on. A lot of trap shorts here. A lot of trap shorts here. If this needs to be, yeah, a lot of trap shorts here. I want to see us retest 12K. Maybe the bigger picture though, but it's weak though. See, the POC on ES just printed lower. I will say though, guys, that if this does break to the upside, this breaks pretty aggressively for 20 points. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But there is potential for this to break to the upside. It's just, will it? Will it? There's another rotation forming here, and this rotation is lower than the one that we've had, so that's bearish. But you break 70, you break 80. And I think 80, 85, we reverse back down. I don't, at this point, it's quite difficult to assume that we can retest 12K for now. No, there's volume here, guys. There is volume. Yeah, get out of here, get out of here. Fill me in and continue. I'm banking on this right here. 50 should hold. Shakeout. Fake out for the shakeout. Now we're back into this zone, right? So these guys could potentially cause a move higher. Down to 50. I think 50 is better. 52, because you have this little imbalance, right? And I think you get back in here, these guys start to, if you shorted here at 50, let's just say you shorted here at 50, you saw price go down, you saw price go right back up, and now you're sweating, you're offside a little bit. I think this is where you start to buy back. But it's funny because the market didn't even give it an opportunity to buy back at their entry price. So I want to see this come down, pick me up, and go. Ooh, it's too late now. I don't think it will happen. Potentially could. Well, volume is falling off a cliff here, technically speaking. We went from high volume, relative volume, to low relative volume. See this little no volume node? You created a lot of volume, and now we're barely able to trade within this zone right here. So from a perspective, like, this could be a good buy, and you want to see if a retest of VWAP is on the cards here at the very least. If we can get a retest of VWAP, everybody loves their VWAP. So 71 midpoint and the top of the second rotation is holding. Above 71, I don't think 81s will hold. I'm telling you, above 71, I just don't think that 81s will hold. And I'll say it again. Above 71, I'm not sure if 81 will hold. I think the better trade would be to go short 71, put a stop 81. You get a better RR. I always try to go for the harder trades for whatever reason. I think maybe because I just like the breakout trades, man. Like negative delta, price couldn't go lower. You have negative delta at a higher bar over here, price can't go lower. Shorting 71 is definitely the smarter trade if you just want to be objective about it. That was a quick rejection on that down bar, I think. I don't want to see this come back down here, actually. You saw that we had this down bar, and then we got rejected off of it really quickly at 50s. And you want to see this continue to push higher above 71. Above higher 71 is really, really good. You want to see the market is establishing volume. Might want to establish a POC here, but you want to see if the market actually wants to trade here. Relative volume has dropped off, right? Now we're kind of lower in relative volume than we were at this point. It's an indication to me that, you know, the past 5 bars, we have lower and lower volume. Now, could this lower and lower volume be due to the fact that we don't want to trade higher because you see these up bars that you just don't want to trade higher? Probably. We continue to monitor that. It's the first time I'm using this, so you know, see, POC just shifted lower. I don't like the fact that the POC just shifted lower. No, I'm out of here, guys. POC just shifted lower on ES. Has already been shifted, and then now on Nasdaq it shifted. The better, smarter trade would just be to go with the trend. It would just be to go with the trend. Like, I don't like this trade at all to go long at this point. I think I got lucky that I was able to scratch this. And now, honestly, I'm gonna just put in orders over here throughout 50 and 70, and then I have my stop at 81. I think majority of my orders can be around here, but I'm playing the continuation down here. Now we have a tight range, like I said, between 50 and 70, but the point of control just shifted down, guys, which, look, it's an indication to me at the very least that we want to go lower. Trade the plan. I was hoping for a breakout to the upside, and we could still get that, but I think the overall play today is to go short. Because it's quite significant that we establish POC within the initial balance, and then 30 minutes later, the POC is shifted lower, way outside of the initial balance, and the POC shifted below the 1-to-1 IB extension, which means that there's significant volume over here, significant volume at lows. So let's play this smart. I just kind of wish that I was able to get in, you know, whatever. We switched our bias real quick, but again, I think the smarter play would have been to start adding shorts at 71. Like I said, I think the smarter trade would have been 71. Start adding your shorts around here, and then your stop loss would be 10 points above. Because it's clear, like it's clear as day that like that's where the stop should be. Some here, put some here. See if you can bring this average price up. This is preemptive, guys. This is planned averaging in, so that's fine. See, this was bearish, like I said, because we were trading down here, and the majority of volume was up here, right? And now you created this massive imbalance zone here, like this massive balance zone, and that's actually at 11,975. Funny enough, right? So look at the amount of buying that's happening over here. There's a heck of a lot of buying that's happening down here, yet price can't push higher. So this is absorption by sellers, right? This is no different than looking at a shorter time frame. So we just got filled actually. Ooh, we got filled and now we are breaking out. Son of a gun, dudes. I think this is just one major squeeze. Trading here. We could trade up to 1220. Fuck me, man. You know, the number of times that I don't get out when I see a POC shift and then have it continue against me, and then I tell myself next time the POC shifts down, I'm gonna get out. And then the time that I do get out, this is what happens. Like, this is why trading is so freaking difficult, man. Like, you're constantly changing because of the shit that's happening to you. The hell? Am I not getting filled on this? Alright, now I'm out. I get filled over here, where pretty much everybody had their stops. Continuation higher. Come reversal here at this low volume zone. Chasing this view up can get tested here at 1230. Some resistance over here though. Let's be aware of this. But this does not look good for sellers. So it's actually interesting to note that the relative volume here. So maybe we could take a look at this. What happened here, guys? How did I miss this trade? How did I go from long to short and missed out on the actual trade that I wanted to do? Was it this volume that we missed out, this volume node? And when we retested the volume node, it got rejected. Now there's a low volume node here on ES that doesn't want to trade below, back in. See, VWAP on ES got tested. Let's go, guys. Break out of this zone.
I'm adding at 60 at VPOC because that's like the middle of this consolidation. It's this midpoint here. If it even gets to there. But now it's hovering above 71, which was that resistance that's turning into support. That major resistance actually is, you could see the number of times we tested. Major resistance turned it into support. 60 is also a point of support now. Might get rejected off of here to come back down, but I think we rotate between 84 and 95. Come back down to 84, get picked up and go. I think that could be a thing. Get picked up here and go. Come on. '70 is your next support.
Like you knew 12K would be resistance though.
that was the trade of the day. I was on mute for a bit. Sorry, guys. Let's try to massage a position around here around 40. See if we can massage a position here. I think 40 might be on the lower end, but if we get filled, that's great. Let's go around 42. Come on. Get me filled. I want to see this continue. Please. Fill me. Okay, that's fantastic. Don't want to lose too much on this trade, but I want to see if we can potentially... VWAP might not even test, and I'll tell you why, guys, because a lot of entries at VWAP for that short trade are now stuck, and there's a very good possibility that the market doesn't even want to test VWAP anymore because it doesn't want to get these guys an opportunity to scratch their trades. It wants to give these guys as much pain as possible. I say probably, right? I say probably because of the nature and the violence of this move. Very possible VWAP doesn't get tested. But if it does, I mean, you still have a good support now. So interestingly, look at how the IB low acted as a resistance to the tick. So you need to be looking at the ES for these exits and not Nasdaq, because ES seems to be the more accurate of the two today. So if ES touches VWAP and Nasdaq hasn't touched VWAP, don't wait for Nasdaq to touch VWAP if that's your trade to go long on Nasdaq. If you're trading ES, then forget about it. But if you're trading Nasdaq, I think take a look at what ES is doing and then get your entries based off of that. Because if you had your profit target at IB low, you would have already been down 30 points or 25 points. Whereas if you had your profit target IB low on the ES, you would have been out already. So one thing that I want to see is us to comfortably break the IB low, and not even hovering around it is good. But I want us to break the IB low, because I think if we break the IB low, there's a very high probability setup that we can take to go long in continuation to the IB high as profit target. And for Nasdaq, that's another 90 points. Right? That is another 90 points on Nasdaq. So let's see if we break the IB low, get back into the value area high, retest the old POC. So now we're establishing what I love to see is this P formation. Right? You get your entries down here, and the fact is, let me get this because it's a bit ugly here. Change color, delete. All right, let's see if we can get a better. You can put a really tight stop, but I've noticed that I get stopped out on these tight stops because they're tight, and especially because it's Nasdaq. But these breakout trades where you have low volume and then you're establishing a high volume node here that looks like a P. And the good thing is that you also have this imbalance at the bottom of the P, which is very good to have. Sometimes you'll have this imbalance somewhere around here, right? So you can see the market can come test that and then go. Those things do happen, but in this case we have the imbalance, or this stacked imbalance zone at the bottom of the P, which is great confluence. So as you start to build volume around here, you can enter down here at the bottom of the P, and you put your stop somewhere down here if you want, right? And so essentially what you're doing is you're going long for a breakout continuation. So in a way, it's kind of what happened here, but on a very smaller P. You had this breakout, and you created this P in a way, right? So if I had put my stop here at the bottom, well, it's kind of hard to see this though, guys. So you had a small P here. I'm still holding this because this is quite a violent move, and I think VWAP can provide support. So you had a small P, right? And then you can obviously extend the volume to this P, so this is one big P. Broke out. Okay, that's one P. That's one breakout. And I keep saying I need to do a video on this, but I'm just not confident enough. But the more I see these setups, the more I realize that it's a very good setup. Then here's your second P, right? Low volume, high volume, and then you're establishing volume around this zone. But this is not nice to see because in a way it kind of works. It's kind of like a bullish flag, I think. If you think about it, it could be like a bullish flag. And so you establish this volume, right? And then you break out. I know it's ugly, these drawings, but I hope you guys get the concept of it. And now this is kind of what's happening here. The same type of setup here that's happening here. But you want to be wary. You know, the whole fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on me again. It's like everybody's seeing this, and so now I'm wondering, is everybody thinking, oh, this is going to be another setup long? And so you're trapping in more suckers. That's where my mind is thinking, because you've had one smaller setup. Not many people saw this. I kind of saw this. This is the second P, and now you have the third P, right? But one thing that's very, very interesting here is this line. Look at the buying over here. Typically, what you see is selling down here. Like you would see a lot of selling, like aggressive selling down here, and aggressive buying up here. But you don't have anything. It's all buying. All of this is buying. All of this is forced buying, because of a lot of people that are trapped. Not only a lot of people are trapped, but you have a lot of people up here that are like, what the fuck just happened? And so their trailing stops are getting hit. So actually, it's important to note this, that if everybody's buying here because they're getting out from these positions, who is left to buy and bring the market higher? Right? So that's also one thing to consider, is that we might not get this move up. So based on the structure here, I would argue that you could go short at this trend line. That's what I would argue. Let's draw this better. What am I doing? You have this. This could still break to the upside, though. Let's not be. So I don't see too many of these scenarios where you have buying at the low of a candle. It's quite interesting, actually. I'm inclined to believe that this can go higher based off of the aggressive buying, but I'm a skeptical dude. You see, you typically get this. You typically get a lot of red at the bottoms, obviously because you're selling. You don't want to see aggressive buying at the low of a range. Well, you do if you're long, right? So this to me just tells me that there's no interest in aggressively selling the market up here. So that's actually even a better setup if you think about it. So looks like, so we already broke the IB on ES. I'm going to hold this all the way up to the IB high. That could be a very greedy move. That could be quite greedy of me, I'm not going to lie. But when you've had these setups play out in the past, I think this is the trade to take. These are the types of trades to take, I think, depending on the setups. I have to do a video on this because my channel is all live streams right now, and I think I have some pretty good setups that I can share with you guys. You know, structured videos on this. Hopefully that helps you guys, and hopefully that helps others. Yeah, I'm holding this, guys. T plus one could prove to be a resistance though, right? So, but look at the amount of orders here. We could probably just shoot up here based on the fact that there's so much buying, guys. There is so much buying, and now you have another floor here. This imbalance that could prove to be support. Oh, look at that. Oh, somebody just ate these orders up. Just ate these orders up. T plus one though. T plus one and midpoint. I'm getting out. All right, so I'm out of my trade because we had midpoint. We had the midpoint of the IB high. That's typically a solid resistance. Um, so you could potentially see like market range between IB low and midpoints. But so here's a few things that I saw as well is because you have midpoint on ES, you had the old POC on ES, old POC on Nasdaq, T plus one, T plus two on Nasdaq. Let's call this T plus two because let's be honest, this is T plus two today. You have this on Nasdaq, so it's a good area to get profit because look at the rejection that we had off of here, right? At exactly 104, 105, 106. We just had a 25 point rejection, right? And so now market's going to want to establish a bit of volume before going higher, or we go straight up. And I'll tell you why we go straight up. Um, Typically, this took some time to happen. You could tell that markets wanted to go down, but it failed and it went up straight. This also took a bit of time to happen. Straight. Now, guys who didn't get out here from here, guys, not guys who didn't get out here, but the guys who have positions in here and didn't get out here may have gotten out here. But some guys who took positions in here didn't get out here are really offside. Really, really offside. So you have a structure that's kind of, this took time, broke out. This took a bit of time, broke out. This will not take time. This will not take time because of the pain that people are feeling right now. This will not take time. Are you kidding me? Come on, what am I doing here? So I want to enter at. We didn't even test this. Did we? Well, we kind of did. We tested 79, but not necessarily this little box here. So I'm telling you, this will not take time. I really don't think we hover around here. I'm serious. Oh, why would I be joking? But but oh, look at that, 110 on the bid just got brought up. Yeah, because I didn't think that this was going to range. So I chased it. You see the bids being brought up, right? This dynamic is kind of um, it's hard to ignore because there's a reason why you see these bids that keep going up because these guys are not getting filled, and if they're not getting filled, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to chase the market. Now I'm curious to see what happens to the to the 112 at 101 if they don't end up getting filled. These guys are not getting filled. These guys as well. These guys might see what happened. You saw that we took 40 at 88. We took 40 off the bid and we brought them up to 103. You guys just see that? Now this is true live order flow. This is not spoofing. These patterns, when you see these patterns, it's very bullish. And the same goes for on the offer. It's very bearish because these guys are chasing the market. They have to get out. Either they have to get in or they have to get out. Because if you're short, you gotta buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're short and you don't want to put a stop market, you're putting a stop limit. Or, yeah, they might get filled. Once these guys get filled, the market might come back down. But rejection off midpoint, I still think IB high on ES will get tested, and that's when I'm going to get out. That's when I'm going to get out. When IB high gets tagged on ES, no matter where Nasdaq is, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get out because ES is the market to watch right now. Forget your profit target on Nasdaq. Just think, if I was taking this trade on ES, where would my profit target be? It would be the IB high on ES, simply because it's been the more accurate of the two. This tag of IB high over here is equivalent. Whoops. This tag is equivalent to this tag. You see this? Like, this is more accurate than this. The tag of midpoint over here is equal to this tag. Like, you're off by 20 points. So don't get stuck. Um, so now this is kind of not what I want to see. Kind of not what I want to see. But I'm not going to put my stop at scratch though, because this is still quite bullish. I'm not going to put my stop at scratch. We had the pop that we wanted. Could I have gotten out 25 points above? Perhaps. But my trade plan is still valid. It's the IB high. It's the IB high. My stop will be the IB low. Right? I don't want it to go below the IB low. And that's it. Also here on the hourly, if you take a look, this consolidation box, we got rejected right below the consolidation box. This was a consolidation box that I had established last week. So it's not that I just drew this. This has been there for a while now. And these levels are key. So if we break 130, guys, if we break 130, good chance we test midpoint of this, which is 170. And it's not that much, but it's not that much. It's like a 40-point difference. So we're back within, well, not even actually. We're still outside of last week's value area. So let's not fool ourselves. The market's not really turning until we get back within last week's value area. This market is still in a bearish market. Well, bearish. It's been bearish for a while, but like, you know, if you're thinking of short term, short to medium term, you know, a few days to a week, right now we're still bearish. Until we get past above last week's value area low. Until we start trading within last week's value area, this market to me is still bearish. So I don't want to sell here. In fact, I'd probably want to buy here. So now Nasdaq is tagging its IB low and finding support, whereas ES isn't. Right, so now Nasdaq's the one that's tagging these levels, and ES isn't tagging these levels yet. So if we go back above 97, bullish. If we find resistance at 97, it's neutral. Neutral because this needs to break on one side. So if we find resistance, then it's still neutral until we break 75. If we break 97, 98, then it's bullish for a continuation higher. Bullish up until obviously the second high here. So it is finding resistance as we expected. Could this literally, I don't want to say a bad word here, but could this SOB be trading between its new and old POC for the day? Frick yes, it could be. It could be. These things are totally possible. Totally possible. Because I went short here thinking, you know, I was long and I flipped my bias to short because I saw that the POC shifted down. And I know that every time that I am long and I see the POC flip down and I don't get out of my trade, I just see it continue further against me, and I start thinking, why didn't I get out of my trade? Today was one of those rare days where I actually did what I should do, and I still got screwed for it. And I got screwed for it. I was offside like a heck of a, I was offside pretty badly. So I waited for the market to dip. I got out, and then I re-entered long, thinking, you know what, fuck it, because if this just happened, what are the odds that other people are now stuck and need to get out of their trade? Right? And so I kind of took that trade to go long. I got that breakout. So now this is the third leg, right? Leg 1 is here, leg 2 is here. Leg 3 was kind of here, but leg 3 had a failed breakout. Remember when I said that this market's not going to take time, it's just going to go straight up? And it did, but it just failed at 123. So now we're kind of back here at leg 3.5, let's say, right? We can call this leg 3.5 if you want. Finding resistance here, though. Finding resistance. You can technically go short at 99. You can technically go short at 12K. What am I saying? At 12.1K, and you just put your stop at the high. I don't think it's a high probability trade based on the fact that we've had this big up move, and so you're kind of fading the market. But in terms of a V reversal, this is what a typical solid structured V reversal looks like. The market comes off, you get this big uptick, volume build, up bar, volume build, up bar, right? This is a solid V reversal. It's not the type of V reversals where you get the market that comes down and then it just goes straight like this, right? Now you actually built some volume in time here, and now you're building it again here. So you know you're wrong below here. You're not totally wrong, but you are wrong, depending on where you put your stop. So I don't like the color because it's clashing. Let's put yellow. You go long here, your stop is here, right? Because if it goes below here, you're wrong for a bit, right? But are you wrong for long? Because you also have this structure that's kind of supporting you as well. But you don't want to go long here and then put your stop here unless you're sizing properly and unless it's within your risk management parameters, because you have midpoint here. What could happen is you go down, bounce back up, you can go down, bounce back up, you can go down, bounce back up. You have all these three scenarios, each scenario is like still bad for you, because like you're taking heat here if this happens, you're taking heat here if this happens, you're taking heat here, and then what if it goes down here? Like, you are really wrong, right? So you play this a few ways, right? If you're not patient enough, or if you think that we're not even going to test this, then you get in here with a tight stop, and then you can re-enter around this box, right? Because technically speaking, this could also act as the same as this. But you really don't want to enter here and keep your trade all the way until here. Because then if this breaks, dude, you are wrong. Look at this. All this, you are wrong for like 100 something points. If your account size is big enough for that, by all means. If that's the style of trading that you're doing, like a swing trading type of thing, by all means. But we're not here to swing trade. So we're back above. I said if you go short here, you put your stop here, right? But then again, if you're going short here and putting your stop here, everybody else is doing the same. And like I said, it's a low probability trade because of this big up move. So as soon as ES tags its IB high, I'm getting out of my trade no matter what. I'm not waiting for Nasdaq to tag its IB high. It could very well, but I think IB high here is value area high here, I think. Let's go, guys. Let's go. I don't want to see another rejection. 122. I'm putting it here at 120, 122. You don't want to see this come back down below midpoint. You want to see this continue. Because otherwise what ends up happening is you take out these stops and it comes right back down. And if that happens, then you're going lower and you might be testing this consolidation box here. Right? Because these guys bought in with the expectation. These guys bought in with the expectation that it's going to go higher. And if it goes higher and comes right back in their price, very high probability that we start trading in here because they start to panic and they start to get out of their trades. So I don't want to see this get tagged. Now we're below that midpoint, right? It should bounce off of here. It really should bounce off of here. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. All right, whatever. We're out. We took some ticks off of that trade. What are we at here right now? That's okay. Almost tagged the IB high on that on ES, but I was waiting for an actual tag. But I guess we didn't even get it. We were like 1.5 points away from it. And Nasdaq, we were 4 points, 5 points away from the value area high. So yeah, you see, like maybe I got a bit greedy and I wanted to get out at the tick level, right? But it's okay. We had our trailing stop. Our trailing stop got hit. So this should, okay, so normally speaking, you'd want to go long here, but I'll tell you why I don't want to go long. Because this imbalance got taken out pretty quickly, guys. Right here. Got taken out pretty quickly and we're right back down. We're right back down into this box. For a second here, let's look at this. Forget ES. Let's look at Nasdaq and quickly analyze this. Also, relative volume was kind of dying down here, if you think about it. But I'm not looking at this too much, although it could be a good idea to look at it. But I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense because at 11:30 the relative volume dies down anyway. So might not use this too much. Maybe in the first hour or hour and a half could make sense. Right, but maybe not afterwards because obviously after 12 p.m. the volume's going to die down. So, but again, this is for the last 15 minutes, so whatever. So this box here, if you're entering in this box, it's because you're expecting a breakout to the upside. So two things happened here. Is you did have a breakout to the upside on this one and it failed. So some guys who got in here got shaken out. But the thing is that they weren't there weren't enough trapped buyers to push this market lower into this consolidation box. So we picked up a bid. We came higher, a little bit higher than this one, and we came right back down. So I argue that this is two failed breakouts. These are two failed breakouts. This is one failed breakout. This is a second failed breakout. Now, the question becomes, is there enough trapped buyers at this level and at this level, and as well as around here? Are there enough trapped buyers to push this market down to this consolidation? Are there enough? And that's the question, right? I don't want to wait, or I don't want to sit around and find out. So that's why I got out of my trade at the midpoint here. Because if I'd held on to my trade, I would have been back at scratch. And I would have been thinking to myself, because my scratch price was here, right? Around 90, 95. And I would have been thinking to myself, do I want to hold on to this trade or do I want to get out at scratch? And if I'm thinking that, everybody else is thinking that, guys. You always think that. Everyone else is thinking that. Because I got bailed. So I got bailed out once. I had my price around here. This happened. I saw this happen. I entered here. Let's just say I entered here. But this is my average price. I saw this happen. And I was still holding. And I'm thinking, you know what? I think we can still pick up a bid. So this technically, I got bailed out once. And now I'm back here again if I'd held my trade. I'm thinking, am I going to get bailed out a second time? You know, it's very possible. I could get bailed out. It's very possible. Right? But it's just less likely, right? And we're playing a probabilities game here. It's just less likely. Could this still go higher? Absolutely. Could this also still go down here for it to go higher? Absolutely as well. And let's not forget that we are still technically within last week's value area low. Let's not hope for miracles here, right? We're still technically, or within this week's value area. But even this week's value area is still below last week's value area. So let's not hope for miracles here that we're just going to straight up V-reverse all the way up, you know. Anyway, I hope that kind of made sense to you guys. I really do. I think this was a great trading session, not because I made money, but because everything was there. Everything was explained in a way where it was just easy to understand. At least for me it was. So I hope it was easy for you guys to understand as well. If you had any questions, please do ask. But I think this is a good session. Not long. It's not a long session. Still less than 2 hours. There's a lot to digest in this session. I do think that going short here was the right move, right? Because the POC shifted down. I'm going to remove this study. Or let's hide this study. So you see, I would have been stuck at 90 and I just would have been thinking, come on, go higher, go higher, go higher, go higher. But then it wouldn't be going higher, and then it would have trickled down, and I'm like, shit, go higher, trickle down. And then around here, I'll be like, fuck, I'm taking too much heat on this trade. I'm going to have to get out or stop out. And then you just see it continue going lower, right? So you don't want that. You just don't. You don't want to be stuck in that, especially considering the timing right now. It's 11:15. You know, just take your ticks and move on. So today was a big win day. It was a big win day. And I like the fact that when I'm sure of a trade, I press and I push on it.
so that when you actually have strong days, you have really strong days, and when you have bad days, yeah, you have bad days. Sometimes you have really bad days, but I'm trying to have much stronger days than I am trying to have than my bad days, right? I want my good days to be really good that it doesn't matter so much when I have a bad day. Let's just trade activity from today. Account stats. 29 trades. A little bit too much for my liking. No, never mind. 9 trades. What am I saying? 9 trades. Sorry, 9 trades. 29 total trades was just clicking. You know, but flat to flat trades were 9 trades. Not bad, actually. I didn't overtrade today. I'm happy about that. I am very happy about that. Let's take a look at some of the statistics. Profit factor of 2.9. Let's see how we performed today. I should do this every day, actually. Equity peak was 2,824. Today, my day was 2,800. So that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Really? Hold on, how does that make sense? I thought I actually gave up some profits. No, I didn't. Oh, maybe my open equity was, so 1404.5 plus 1419.5, 2,824. Go back to stats. That's 2,824. So I think it was maximum run up? No. What does that even mean? Wait. Was I potentially up $4,000 today? What? Is there something that I missed? Was I really potentially up $4,000? No, it doesn't make sense. I let 20 points off the top, but that doesn't equate to a difference of 1,200, so I don't understand. Hold on. I think you'll get to see it over here. Max open profit. How about flat to flat max open profit? No. No, it doesn't make sense. 1,458 was the max. No, 1,499 was a flat to flat max open profit. So technically speaking, I just gave away 180 bucks. This is on account 1, this is on account 2? No. I'm confused, guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what my actual peak was. I'm trying to figure out what my actual peak was here. No, Hefe. When did you take this trade? Was it yesterday? But I don't understand. I think, why would they close your account and not actually just close the position instead? That's so annoying. Test something here. Oh. Oh, that's so annoying, dude. I'm sorry. Was it because you traded past 1 p.m. yesterday?
And was this a performance account or was this a evaluation account? I think if it was a performance account, maybe you could email support and see if they can reinstate you, because I think it's happened before. I'm not sure. See if you can email the support and see if there's something they can do for you. Was this Apex or Lilu? If it's Apex, oh, this was an evaluation that you had passed. So this was technically, oh, you had already passed the evaluation, but then the evaluation got broke. So that they might actually reinstate you. In all fairness, they might actually give your account back. Just give it a shot. I think email their support and be like, hey, listen, I totally missed. Yeah, if it's Apex, Apex has great support. Just be like, hey, I totally missed the rule 459 flat position rule. Is there any way that we can reinstate the account? I had a few days just to pass, please, etc., etc. You know, just give that a shot. See if they do anything. I mean, you won't lose anything if you by trying. You really don't. Oh, these are two accounts. Oh, I see. Okay, these are two different accounts. Did you try emailing their support? I think you should. I really, really think you should. Where does it say running? Where does it say total profit 4,277? It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. How did I get $4,000? Oh, I see. Oh, I see, I see, I see, I see. Okay, 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 okay. I see. Again, Hefe, email them, dude, because it's such a waste of time and it's such a stupid way to get stopped out of your account. Just don't accept it. Just be like, hey, listen, I'm very, very sorry. Please, 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 can you reinstate me? Like, I think they'll give it to you. There have been, so it's funny because I've read instances where people have accidentally canceled their accounts, and um, if it's like their first time ever doing that, then Apex will just give you your account back. It's just kind of difficult for them, but again, dude, you never know if you don't try. So just try. How was I 44% profitable flat to flat?
I'm very confused here. Flat to flat percent. It doesn't make sense that my flat to flat is 44%, but my total winning is 66%, 62% profitable. Maybe I had more losers than winners today, but I had a lot of. It's possible I had more losers than winners, but I think it's possible. Either way, it's a pretty good day. And I think with that, so yeah. See what I said, guys? Like, you break this,
The possibility you could still get picked up here. You could still definitely get picked up here. And it's... Did it happen? It did happen. Look at that. It got picked up at 70s, around here. Got picked up at 70s. 71, which we established was this level 70, 71, right? Which was the start of this breakout here. It got picked up at 70, 71s, exactly at 70. Attempted to make highs, got stopped at midpoint again. Well, not really again, but it got stopped at the midpoint. And now it's right back down here. I don't think this is a buy. I think that was kind of the trade. I think now we just range until 12 o'clock, or we end up breaking this consolidation box. But yeah, it was a good day. But Hefe, if you're still there, I mean, Apex does have another 80% 80% sale going on. I know it kind of sucks to hear because now you have to redo it again. But like I said, at the very least, there's that. So wait out.
wait to see if you get an email
Back from them. But like I said, dude, you have to reach out to their support. There has to be something they can do for you. That is just crazy, guys. It got picked up in here because of the trapped shorts that was here. So it shook out guys in this rotation to give guys in this rotation a second chance at life. And I would bet if I pull up ES right now, I think we touched VWAP on ES. No, never mind then. Interesting. So now they're both kind of in tandem with each other, I think. I would have bet that ES touched its VWAP and Nasdaq didn't, but I guess that's not the case. Would you want to fade this move? You have a lot of stacked short imbalances here. You could technically fade this move, but no, it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong, guys. It's strong, and you have a lot of shorts down here. You have a lot of volume up, like down here, and you're building volume up here. Not the best move, but that was it. That was a trade. I'm done for the day, guys. If you have any questions, leave it in the chat. Again, I hope you learned from today. We had some pretty good setups today. We took some pretty good losses too. I think overall today's trading was pretty good. We didn't, obviously, didn't get 100% win rate. We did take some losses, but those losses were good losses because we were right to take those losses, in my opinion. So funny enough, I don't think we break from here. I just don't. I think we're coming off of, yeah. If we do break, you need to see a dip and then go. But off of this move, it's not enough energy to break what's up here. Anyway, Hefe, if you need to talk, you have my email, dude. Send me an email and, we can talk. But I'm going to go offline. But, I'm here for you, man. So, you want to talk about it, you want to see how you can get your account back, just send me an email and we'll sort this out. Or we'll try and sort this out together. On that note, I do gotta go. I hope everybody had a good trading day. Hefe, I hope you sort your stuff out. Don't forget to email them, email support, see what they say. And don't be too beat up about it. These things happen. You learn from the mistake and then you move on. But it's important not to let this get you down, right? So there's still an 80% code going on. If you want to use it, let me know. I'd like it if you use my code. Wink, wink. Provided you still get that 80% off, obviously. But again, like I said, man, and I keep saying this again, just email them, dude. You never know. You really never know. I mean, I've gotten a lot of support from Apex in the past, and I've heard other people say the same thing about Apex. But yeah, just give it a shot. On that note, again, I'm out, guys. Take it easy. Hefe, email me if you need to. And I'll see you all tomorrow.